Never fails.
What?
If he's not eating candy,
It's just not prepared ever.
What's up, dude? Come on.
You got your mic on? Oh,
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Nice.
I'm sure everyone listening will appreciate you coughing into the mic.
Beatboxing skills.
Okay. I like it.
Spit it, Dylan.
Oh shit.
Well, it's one of those days, dude. I think you were at the meeting and I heard some lady say it. Some days I'm recovering and some days I'm just fucking sober. And today is one of those days that I'm just fucking sober. And Jordan, when we met up earlier, dude, we were talking about the show and talking about some of the stuff we wanted to talk about and all that. And I just told you, man, like, dude, I think I'm struggling right now, like struggling with even the podcast in just a lot of areas because I feel like I don't have a lot of recovery in me right now.
Yeah.
And it's an uncomfortable feeling. You know, I don't really like it. You know, it's kind of one of those things where I'm just, like I said, dude, I'm just fucking sober today. Like, I'm just trying my best to fucking hold it together right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I don't know if it's, you made a joke earlier. You might have been serious. You're like, you're not being a fucking service right now. Like, you know, I don't know what it is, but like lately it's one of those things where I'm just like fucking holding on for like dear life right now, you know?
That's funny, dude. That's funny because me and Jordan had the same conversation earlier, dude. Like,
Yep.
I literally said the same exact words. I was like, sometimes, dude, some days I just feel like I'm holding on for dear life, man, just to get through that day. But back to you, like, what do you think's been holding you back from really getting, you know?
Dude, I don't know. I feel like I don't know, man. I feel like I'm starting to put a lot of pressure on myself right now. You know, I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but you know, obviously I quit that job and, you know, just to pursue real estate full time and kind of just live more of the lifestyle that I want. And part of that transition is also me trying to not only switch my sleep schedule, but also like change my routine. Like instead of waking up in the morning, pounding an energy drink and smoking a cigarette, like I'm trying to wake up in the morning, I'm trying to work out, and I'm trying to like just build a healthier routine. And what has it only been like? It's been like 3 weeks, right? Since I quit. I'm expecting this whole thing. Like I'm almost upset at myself that I'm not killing it in 3 weeks and that I'm not like completely transformed in 3 weeks, forgetting how long I was on this schedule and how long I've just lived unhealthy. Because yeah, I got clean and that's awesome. Like I said, like today I'm just sober and that's still priority number one is to stay clean today. That's 100% priority number one. But I think living healthy is a different ballgame for me. You know, like switching up my mindset, like working on my mental game is like it's a different animal to me because even in recovery, I've still like acted out on my sickness in different ways, whether it be lust, pornography, gambling, fucking adrenaline, like whatever it is, like I've still like looked for ways to, and we call it in the program, like stepping over the bottle, right? Like I still want to fill that void with something other than God or something other than the program or something other than like a healthy outlet. Like I'm still looking to do some just fucked up shit sometimes, dude, you know? And I don't, and I'm not saying I want to do that right now because that's not how I feel. But I feel kind of like that sense of like, fuck, man, I'm just tired. Like, and I'm like, I told you earlier, like, it's almost like I'm getting like, and this is fucked up to say, but like, it's almost like some days I'm like just burnt out on recovery. I'm like, fuck it. Good for you. You're fucking sober. We get it. You know, like, fuck, you know, like, and that's like a fucked up mindset. But I think that just speaks to, it does speak to an inner problem going on. Does that make sense?
It does make sense because I've been to exactly where you're at. I mean, first off, where you said that you with the expectations, you put unreal expectations on yourself.
I have, yeah.
And I did the same thing to me or to myself. And then when I didn't meet those expectations, I began to resent myself. Subconsciously, I was like resenting myself for not meeting these unrealistic goals that I set. And I believe I should just be killing it in real estate and should have all this business and everything, but I wasn't, you know, maybe I could have been putting in some more work, but I also had to remember that I'm just, you know, I'm recovering from doing some hardcore drugs and some hardcore damage to my mind and my body for how long?
Long time.
So that's the whole process of recovery. And like that one book that I'm reading that my one mentor gave me, it's all about the process and how it takes like time and years. And that's where I talk about the roller coaster, even year 2, dude. Like,
no, dude, it's been fucking gnarly. A different kind of gnarly, but
Yeah.
gnarly.
And then back to also what you said about when you're like, yeah, fuck yeah, good for you, you're fucking sober. I've been there.
Well, me and Jordan were just saying
Yeah.
that earlier, dude. Like,
But,
That's
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, that's why when you were talking to me about it, I was like, and you said you didn't have a whole lot of recovery in you. In a way, I saw it as in you do, because this is a part of recovery. Like we feel this way sometimes, and sometimes it's just like we want to fucking use, we want to drink, we want to do something because that's who we are and what we do, and that's what we've known for years. So
Yeah.
it's like, even though in sobriety terms, like, you know, a year, 18 months, 2 years, like that's all a really long time. It's nothing compared to all the times that we were using.
yeah.
So we're still breaking those habits. And even though it seems like it's been forever, like sometimes, bro, like we want to fucking use, and we have to, you know, that's why we have different support systems and stuff put in place. So I think, you know, it's good to talk it out, and like you just opened up about it, and Donnie's like, I've gone through that exact same thing, like talking to it about people and letting other people know that it's fucking something that is normal to go through, you know.
Yeah, you said it exactly right, man. It is normal to go through. And I realized now that I'm coming, I don't know when we're going to drop this, but as I'm coming up on 2 years, like I reflected back when I was coming up on 1 year, and I kind of got like, I just got weird, man, like in a weird fucking spot. And I was like having dreams, like using dreams, and I had like the craving to smoke cigarettes. And I thought about like, fuck it, you know, like a drink or a drug sounds good.
Yeah.
But then I, you know, and I'm like, what? But as I let that moment pass, or that thought pass, and I recognized it, and then I talked about it, and like we're doing right now, and then I make it through that next day, and then that next day. Those are small wins. Like every day is a win, and then it builds that confidence, that self-confidence, you know, that we can do this and it will pass. Like next time this comes up, you're like, oh well, yeah, that happened to me before, you know, so I'll be able to make it through this time, and then it just becomes stronger.
No, and I believe that, and I do believe that. And like you said, sometimes we just want to fucking use. Like that's my default, right? Like is to get high, to escape, to run away. I can't fucking do this. So I know this other thing, it's going to ruin my fucking life all over again. But damn, maybe I just need a break from doing good, you know? And that kind of crazy shit pops in my head. And like, dude, my shit gets dark, bro. Like it gets dark upstairs sometimes. Like, and I think that's something for people not in recovery. And I think there's some people who listen to our show who, I know there's people who listen to our show who aren't even in recovery, but like, there's just times, man, where I'm just not good. Like it's fucking hard still. Like, and I feel like there's this perception at times, like, well, you've been clean this long, like it's time to get it together. Or I really don't know how to describe it, I guess, accurately, but some days I'm just holding it together. That, just like I said, some days I'm just holding it together, but knowing that the fucking drugs won't work anymore pisses me off sometimes. I'm like, fuck, dude, the only escape and only outlet that I've ever truly found to fucking like just bail out on life, I know won't even work anymore. And then I'm like, well, fuck it, dude. My only way out of this thing is suicide. Right? Like my shit gets dark, bro. And I'm starting like, fuck, man.
Dude,
like maybe I don't know. Like some days I'm on the edge. I'm like, dude, I'm not like, not that I'm like actively suicidal, but there's times I'm like starting to just like entertain that road. And I'm just like, well, maybe I'm not cut out for life after all. I don't fucking know.
Dude, I'm the same way, man. Like, it's not like I contemplate suicide, but it's like that thought still pops in my mind. Like recently it has too. And I'm like, why the fuck? Like everything's going good in my life.
That's when the trouble starts.
Yeah. Like I don't want shit to go good for me. Like, keep it bad, because then I know I'm on guard. As soon as shit starts going good, I'm like, oh fuck, dude, something bad's gonna happen.
Some fishy's up.
Yeah, something's up. Dude.
It's new to us, man. We can't. It's hard to accept. Like your sponsor is calling you, you know, constantly. This, you know, coming up on 2 years, like, because, you know, the story that he shared with you is just like he's just kind of looking out for you now, because it's hard to accept the good. Sometimes it's just fucking weird. So used to chaos and adrenaline and using all the time that I don't know.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm glad he shares that story with me, and he really beat like he's been calling me like every day, and he's like, yeah, my first time I got sober, I relapsed a week away from getting 2 years. He's like,
Damn.
cause shit was going good. He's like, everything was good. And I thought, yeah, fuck, good. Let's go have a drink. And then it went on for years and years after that. And he didn't know when it was going to stop. And I can relate with that. I mean, less sobriety, but it's dangerous when things start going good. And my mind forgets, my body heals, all my circumstances become good. And then I forget how bad it really was. And I love what you said about stepping over the bottle into other things to fill that void, that you can replace that void with anything, like any addiction, if you want to go back to step one, it's the only one that says alcohol in it.
Right.
And you can replace alcohol with anything,
Right.
Sex, drugs, fucking video games, pornography, food, like anything. And that's, if it's an external solution to an internal problem and it's making your life unmanageable, then, it doesn't have to just be drugs.
And I think, so I've been having I've been having conversations with with sponsees and stuff like that. And like step 2 is kind of where we're at. And I've always reading step 2 in the 12 and 12, it talks about the man with the quantity of faith over the quality of faith.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's where I'm at right now too. Like I feel like I'm disconnecting from God again. And I'm starting to creep back into my own will. And I even told Jordan earlier, I was like, dude, what the fuck am I, like, I gotta like check myself and what are my motives right now? Like, even with this fucking show, like, am I exploiting something that saved my life? And I need to make sure I remember why I'm fucking doing this. Like, I want to make sure that I'm remembering why I do this. So the next kid who listens to this shit can be like, man, I feel that. Like, I feel that because I know I was like starved for like recovery shit. Like when, especially in early recovery, man, like, just barely getting clean and like legitimately holding on for fucking dear life. Like if I heard someone going through it or someone just that I could relate to, like it fucking helped me out so much, and that's why I do get stoked out on this type of stuff. I do, because we get comments all the time, people messaging us talking about, man, fucking, I'm fighting for my pen today. Jordan's story really hit me. Donnie's story really hit, whatever, like, and that stuff stokes me out and I want to continue to do that. But like I said, I don't know, man. Like I said, I just feel like I've been lacking like recovery in my life, like in my personal life, So it makes it hard sometimes to keep a straight face and move on. And at times I have to remember too, like, dude, I'm still sick, man. Like I need help. Like I still need help.
Every day.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're not Captain Recovery.
Nah, yeah. Fuck, dude. I know. And
Yeah, some days I wish I could just show up like Superman every day, but but I realized, man, every day, like I go through the fucking ups and downs, man, and some days, I don't want to work out and I fucking want to sleep in and I just like don't want to show up for life, dude. Like I don't want to face the day sometimes, and I'm sure a lot of people listening can relate with that. But it's fucking, having people like you guys to talk about the shit and to push me, like call me out on my shit when I'm doing something wrong, like that I'm not even aware I'm doing.
right.
Yeah, just like I was talking to you earlier, and just like last week when you guys all had a conversation with me, just about me lacking in my program and things like that, and just out of concern, were talking to me about my recovery, and at first, I was upset,
Yeah.
and I almost felt like I was attacked, and I was like, what the hell, and I was pissed off for like a day. I went home and I thought about it, and I bounced some ideas off my parents and different things like that. And then I really took in what you guys said, and I really saw where you were coming from. And I said, okay, and started making changes in my life out of this last week, and started making new goals for how I'm going to get my recovery back on track, and these different things I'm going to do. I got to, working on got a sponsor. I'm going to start going to more of the morning meetings that I can go to right after work instead of, just the one a week, and start taking these different steps. And like, I really see where you guys were coming from. So like, even though there was this like angry feeling at first, I'm so thankful that I had people around me, surrounded me to be able to tell me what's up and to be able to check me, because I'm honestly not used to it either. I'm not used to people checking me. It's weird because I'm always right all the time.
Right.
but I'm very grateful for it, and I think that's the power of having these relationships and building these relationships. Totally. We can sit down and we can talk about this shit and hash it out and figure out, what needs to change or what, and why we're feeling this way and possible solutions.
Absolutely. And I think in one of the things we talked about too, even just to go off of what you said, like, this is why it's good to have like the squad, right? The accountability squad, as I kind of like to call it. Like, even earlier, like when we walk in and we, whatever, I'm kind of in my head, and then we start cracking jokes, and then we start talking and bullshit, and all of a sudden I'm like, damn, I kind of feel better. like what the, all right, but it's true, man. Like, and I told you too, like at one point or another, man, we all have to check each other at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know there's been times where whatever, you guys have been like, Dylan, whatever, you're living in your will hard right now. I'm like, fuck you, no, I'm not. I'm God's soldier, but and then turns out like, no, absolutely. I'm goomer willing it hard right now. Dude, what's up with you, by the way?
I'm just taking it all in, man. Like, I was just thinking with Jordan, we don't like to hear the truth, man. It hurts.
It does
It
hurt.
fucking hurts. And we're so used to living in our will and being the actor and creating the lights, the scenery, to self-seeking motives. So it's like when shit doesn't happen, we get the case of just get restless, irritable, and discontent, man. When that happens, dude, it's like, all right, well, we either get more egotistical or more kind and generous. And it's so fucking true what the book says, dude, because I've tested both theories, dude, and it's down to the T, dude. Like, that actor scenario, man, I always go back to that and talk and like just breaking down the third step, dude, and just getting out of my own fucking way. Like, I recently, like, I got, when I called you, I was like, dude, I got humbled by fucking God. And it was a hell of a spiritual experience that I had with, my God and my understanding. And it was cool, man. Like, I just started turning on that awareness now. Like you said, like, what are my motives? I started checking. I have the tools now.
Yeah.
Now
and that's almost fucking more painful, right?
Dude.
To have a clear understanding of what I'm doing.
I hate that shit. Because at first, like at early recovery, it's like they told you, oh, get a phone list and call people. And that works, right? And the longer you go in sobriety and the more time you get, it almost feels like you have to do the whole fucking thing to get to a normal state of crazy that normal people walk around the world today, dude. Like, it's it's crazy, dude. Like, that's how I started feeling. And I'm like, fuck, man. Like, I have to do all this shit now, man. Like, fuck this, dude. Like, that drink and that drug starts sounding good. Like, hell no, dude. Because I don't like to put in the work. And it's like Donnie says, like, the balance, having people hold me accountable. Like, that's huge, man. And now, like, and I live in my will, like, just like I'm sure a lot of people do. And when I learn, and I hit these walls and I get stuck in these walls and I'm not growing, and I start slipping into like depression or self-pity or I'm just angry all the time or dry drunk. But then I start like, all right, well, because picking up and drinking is not a fucking choice no more. Like you said, it doesn't work. We're well aware of it. Yeah. And there's no going back. We're in too deep. We have too much shit accountable and too much awareness to know what that is going to do and how many people it's going to do or affect. And it's just a selfish fucking act at this point. So it's like, there's no going back. So it's like, I have no choice but to grow from that growing pain. So once I make these breakthroughs, it's like, oh, fuck, it's such a relief, dude. And it's one of the best feelings that I get out of recovery. And I recently went through like a self-pity and depression and isolating and not going to meetings. And I was like, well, fuck this. Like, who's really going to be my friend? Who's really going to reach out? And who's this and that? And I was ignoring calls. I was like, nah, I got this and this and that. And then it didn't work. And before I knew, I was so down into the pit of isolation that it was hard to get out by myself, and I couldn't do it. And I was like, I started breaking down and started picking up that phone and like being rigorous honest. I'm like, hey man, I'm not in a good fucking spot right now. Yeah. Because that pride, I have coming up on so much time. It's like, well, I shouldn't be feeling this fucking day. But it's true, man. It's fucking normal because at any given moment in our addiction, we're so used to just at the snap of a finger change our mood and our direction of a day. It's like I wake up, take a bump, and I'm fucking ready to go at 100, bro. And I can get shit done. And and I start coming down, and it's like I get a quick buzz, or waking up, take a couple shooters, and you're ready for work. Like we're so used to that. So now that's like we have to learn to like that it's okay not to be okay.
Oh shit! Right.
You're like, I worked out with
It is.
It is, man. And thanks to you guys, you know, like, and I recently saw a really close friend of mine going down the same hole we're not different. You know, we see like the newcomer, the people that have gone to certain experience, and like we can give that away. I literally pulled him aside and I was like, yo, man, you're going down a road to relapse. I was like, and if you get that fucking that hole, dude, like who knows if you can come out, bro. Like I can only extend a hand. You're gonna have to do the work. Just like we had to pick up the phone, we had to work the steps, we had to reach out for help, we had to take the suggestions, and we had to take those actions. It all depends on the person, and if you're still willing to fight and go to any lengths for your sobriety, dude. Because at this point, we know what to do. We do, even if maybe it's not like, you know, it goes back to those maintenance steps, dude.
Yeah,
they're fucking huge, dude.
Yeah. Well, that for me too, and right now I think I just need to go back to the basics.
Yeah, me and Donnie talked about that.
Always, every time I fucking check, I'm like, what am I going through? Like, and I check myself, I'm like, oh, yeah, I quit doing the basic shit that I do to make me happy. It's like we're given these spiritual tools to use and feel good and get that that steady, you know, spiritual, that peace of mind and that serenity that we're searching for. We have the tools, but then. Same thing with like as I start getting results, like I'll set goals and then I'll do these activities to get to my goals. And as soon as I start getting some kind of results, I stop doing the activities that were producing those fucking results for me. And it's the same thing with my recovery. Like I quit going to meetings, I quit on being honest, like rigorous honesty. And that's the step. I mean, the principle behind the first step, dude, is like that rigorous honesty. And Goomer fucking called me out on it, bro. And I appreciate that.
I do it jokingly, but like I know it's like you're not in a danger, or like it's like little things, but it's just something that I think we all do, like in a very humorous, loving, kind way. Like we just take jabs at each other. That like I know at the end of the day we're sitting there just like, motherfucker, dude, do I have a fucking problem?
In my head, I'm like, dude, I got called out the other day by my mentor. He was like, you know, you need to quit being so fucking lazy and get some self-discipline. And that shit hurt, dude. And I was like,
because it's true, right?
I was like, motherfucker, dude, this dude, he fucking know me. Like, you know how much I do? Know what I do? But then after a second, I was like, damn, man, maybe he's right. And I started checking myself and looking, and I was like, well, I guess, I mean, I set these goals for myself, and like, I want to feel this way and I want to feel good, but am I actually doing the work?
Right.
You know, to put in to get that. And I always tell my sponsees when I first meet with them, I'm like, you know, I ask them what willingness looks like to them. Like, what is willingness to you? And then they, you know, always say something. And then someone asked me the same thing at the beginning. And I don't even remember what I said, but it was probably some bullshit. You know? Like, I'm sure I was just bullshitting my way through it. And then after they say it, I'm like, well, and then I explain like my experience of what willingness looks like to me. And I always bring it back and I say, look, I'm here like for support, like to support you. But at the end of the day, this is your recovery and your life. Like, I'm going to give you some stuff to do, and it's up to you to fucking do it.
Yep.
Like, I can't do this shit for you. I wish I could, but I can't. Because like I did the work, you know, maybe it was slow and a process, but I did it.
Yeah. And I like what you say, we have these spiritual tools now, right? So when I get in these ruts, like I'm just listening and you're just like in this place, right? And you're working your ass off to get your life back. And like you said, it's a process and it takes time. But one thing when I was in that rut, like someone says like, Goomer, you're working a spiritual program. Like you're not spiritually fit right now. And you're trying to, what do you say? He hit me hard with it, man. He's like, you're trying to find a spiritual solution with the you're trying to figure out a mental solution with from a spiritual problem. And that hit me fucking hard, dude, because I'm like in my head, like trying to figure out what's wrong with me and what I need to do. And it's all like my spiritual tools. As soon as I surrender, let God get out of my fucking way, pray, meditate. Meditation's huge on me lately, dude, because I have all this trapped like energy sometimes with like, because sometimes I do white knuckle it. Like when someone pisses me off, I'm just like, oh, you know, no worries. And this and that. Like it's not all happy, joys, and free. Like people fucking piss me off still. So I white knuckle it, I bottle it up, or I just put it somewhere in my compartments inside me, and then it starts like fucking coming to the surface. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? So now I'm like working on, you know, continuing to meditate, because like the meditation that Actually, my brother-in-law gave it to me, man, and I was just fed up, and I was like, I like couldn't even talk because I was so emotionally and energy trapped inside. As soon as I meditated, man, that meditation guided me through like how to release energy, and I just felt so relaxed after that meditation, man. I was like, like fuck, man, like this is why I need to fucking meditate. But like you always said it so much, like we don't do shit until it hurts,
Yeah.
like until
Yeah.
we're fed up, until the pain is
enough.
intolerable,
Yeah.
right? Just like in our addiction, when we get that
Yeah.
gift of desperation, like, please, I'll do anything. Help
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Help.
Then we start taking action.
Dude, we that one song. We don't pray until we have something to pray for,
Yeah.
like ever.
Mhm.
You know, and I'm hearing you guys talk too, and a lot of like when you're talking about like, man, I just want results. Like I want the result. I stopped putting the work in, but I want the results. Or when I get to this rut, till I get to this place, whatever. You know, we're talking about this. Like I think a lot of it too, for me at least, comes down to that instant gratification that I've been
That's-
so used to for so
Mhm.
long. So now all of a sudden, and I relate this to my recovery. I feel like I'm in like almost like a I don't want to call it phase 2 because if I have to put phases on, I'm on a phase 117 of my recovery at this point.
How many days? How many days you got?
I don't fucking know.
That's how many phases you're on.
yeah, good shit. Yeah, dude. But like, so like I said, I'm hoping to get it. I need to get it all figured out. 3 weeks, right? Well, I have to remember like when I first got clean, and that's a major life event, like a major change in my life. Dude, it took me 4 months before, like 3 or 4 months before I was even willing to fucking work. Like I legitimately just fucking had to just go to meetings, pick up the phone, ride my skateboard, play some sports, make some music, listen to music. Like I did just everything I could to like just be okay, you know? So now it's like, okay, now I'm not just staying clean. And obviously, again, priority number 1, stay clean. But if all I do is stay clean today and that's all I do for the rest of my life, yes, great, good job. But at the same time, like I have responsibilities now. You know, now I am called to be a productive member of society, you know, a productive family member, all that type of stuff. So it's like, I want that instant gratification. It's like, well, fuck, man, I read that book that Donnie gave me. I worked out today. I quit my job. Where the fuck are the results at?
Why don't I have $1 million right now?
What the fuck?
That's how it feels, dude. That's how it feels.
But it's getting comfortable with that delayed gratification. And anything in my life that has been amazing has typically came from delayed gratification, putting work in and receiving that fucking end goal. Because if it comes fast and easy, like I don't appreciate it. I just don't fucking appreciate it. And more times than not, if it comes fast and easy, it's fast and easy for a reason.
Mhm.
Because it ain't fucking worth much, you know? So
Mm.
I think that's
That's
something
big.
that I'm really struggling with.
That's like one of the-
aspect.
That instant.
Yeah.
It's one of the hardest things. That's why we're like we're addicts, man. We want that instant,
Fucking
Yeah.
that
patience,
instant,
man.
dude. It's the hardest thing to have.
Yeah, that's why when people talk about like when you're in the meetings and people talk about peace of mind and like serenity and all that stuff, like I get almost a little not uncomfortable, but like I'm almost like you have to be careful when you're talking about peace of mind, right? Because I think for one, some good comes from uncomfortability and always thinking,
Yeah.
and 2, I can have peace of mind real quick if I wanted to. You know what I mean? Like, I could have peace of mind real quick and not have to worry about things, you know. But that's not why I'm here in the program.
Scared the
You know
shit
what I mean? Like,
this guy.
That almost turned into like a threat. Like, say it one more time, motherfucker.
I'm gonna have some peace of mind up in here.
With your bitch ass.
I can picture Joy just going to chair the meeting and like just put a Mickey, a 40 of Mickey.
Slam
bro,
up.
like, boom.
Hey, crosses the legs too. Like,
Help me open this meeting with a moment of silence.
Yeah. But it's like you know that's something that takes work and like it's not necessarily just like having peace of mind, but being the serenity and the acceptance, having like knowing that you know life's gonna get uncomfortable and life's gonna get hard and life, you know, we're gonna have to work for things and work every day. We have to be addicts every day. Like and in order to stay sober. So it's something that we have to work towards every day. So all those things, it's more of being okay with that, being accepting of that, and being willing to start putting in the work, not necessarily just having peace of mind, because we could all figure out ways to get a peace of mind real quick. you know.
That's
So-
an interesting perspective on it,
It
and I will say, I mean, it's a super temporary peace of mind, right? Because that peace of mind's gonna
Yes.
get fucked up real quick,
Yes.
right? So I do.
Mine lasted 16 years. So.
Kidding.
I got nothing.
It is temporary, man.
No, it is, because and this is where it's so important. Like they tell us, like we learn in the rooms, play the tape through. I have to play that fucking tape
Mhm.
through. And like Donnie, I know you talk shit to me all the time about fantasizing the drug. Like, why do you fucking fantasize a drug and all that? And at times I do get caught up in it, right? At times I'm like, oh, damn, what make this Suns game even better? Like a little foil.
A fucking win.
Oh shit! I love my team, man, but fuck.
Hey, dude, we're doing good right now, bro.
Unreal expectations,
proud,
bro.
dude.
I want
Oh,
that ring, dude. I want that ring. It's been since '96.
I have a
big
cousin.
game.
I have a cousin who, in the past few years, has gotten real deep in Arizona sports.
Mhm.
And I tell him, I'm like, listen, bro, I'm protecting your heart right now. I'm just telling you, part of being an Arizona sports fan, period, doesn't matter what team we're talking about. Part of it is getting ready to get kicked in the nuts at any given time.
Oh yeah.
But that's so off topic. We'll get
Back
Yeah.
to surrender.
Back to surrender.
My bad.
I was like, I just got lost, dude.
I
I'm
know,
back.
my bad.
Are you
My
back? Are we
Yeah.
back?
I'm back.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I forgot what I was saying.
Anyway.
No.
Instant
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
you
so
sit there,
moments.
would make the Suns game better.
Yeah,
some
yeah.
foil.
Yeah.
Romancing the drink is what you're talking
Well,
about.
yeah.
Yeah.
So playing that tape through, like I legitimately have to do that, man. And like earlier, like I almost put myself in that position of that despair, dude. I started like listening to some music like around the same time frame that I went to treatment, and I had to bring myself back to what it was like to lay in that bed
Mhm.
in my detox center, fucking going through it, just miserable, in pain. Like pain that I never want to experience again in my entire life. And I told myself too, and I even told this to the fucking therapist and everyone who was there, like, telling me all this shit. And I was like, dude, honestly, I wish I could bottle this fucking feeling up right now. I said, I want to bottle this feeling up so that way I could take it with me and I could take a sip of this fucking misery anytime I even think about getting slick. Anytime I even think about using, anytime I think I'm about to order a beer or something like that, I want to take a sip of this miserable despair and I just want to feel that. So I remember exactly what I'm looking at if I decide to fuck around again.
Mm-hmm. I do, dude. I do that most days, almost every day. That's my step one in the morning. Like when I wake up,
Think of your last drunk.
those in the days leading up to it.
Yeah,
Just of that. But that's part of my step one for me is, I read one like the thought for the day and I reflect back because I use my ability to bring up vivid memories in my past. And it reminds me of how fucking bad it got, like the loneliness, the depression, the suicide that was like, I was about to do it, and that's part of my step one. And then I go into the, 2 and 3 every morning. Like that's just what I have to do because I have to continuously remind myself of how bad it gets.
Yeah.
It gets bad, man.
Yeah, I have to do that same thing too. And I've talked about it, with you guys and on here multiple times, because it's easy. Like I've been having this thought lately too, that just like everyone, it's hard. I feel like it's harder, having this much time than when I first came in because you have that so close. Like that feeling is so close. Then now that we're all like over a year and it seems so distant and so far away, it's so much easier to kind of think, I could, I'm doing pretty well. Like I kind of deserve a drink. I deserve to do this because you don't have that feeling of the despair and the depression that you were just in, like when you were a week in the rooms to keep you motivated, right? So that feeling's not there. So it's kind of easier to fall back. And I have to do that same thing. I have to play the tape through and go, I know. If I have a drink tonight,
Fuck.
I will have a drink in the morning. I will have drinks before I go to work. I will have drinks before I go to meetings. I'll have drinks before I meet up with you guys. It won't stop. I already know because I'm already thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'm already thinking that that's exactly what I'll do. So I got to remind myself of that every time, no matter how good I feel, no matter how much progress I've gotten, I cross that line and I can never go back.
Yeah. Absolutely. And something that you just said too, like so close to the pain, right? And it just made me think of something like when you're talking about running away from something rather than running towards something. I think, you know what it is? You know what it is? You know what I mean?
I think we went over this, but tell me what it is. Tell me what it is.
No, dude, it's almost, I feel like, and I just barely thought of this when you're talking, like it almost feels like that transition between running from the pain to running to
The pleasure?
yeah. Running to the pleasure. Whatever, dude, just running towards that freedom, man, because I seek reasonable happiness, right? The full version of that serenity prayer that we say in there talks about reasonable happiness. And I was always blown away, like at the wisdom behind the reasonable happiness line put in there. It didn't say like extreme happiness. It didn't say happiness. It just said reasonable happiness, to strive for reasonable happiness. And that like made so much sense to me. And it makes so much sense to me in recovery. Like not every day is amazing, right? Like some days, again, it's just like, if you only knew how good I'm doing because I'm not choking you the fuck out, you'd buy me a gift right now. Like, you know, like you throw, like that's how I feel, you know? So striving for that reasonable happiness and making that transition from running from the pain to running towards something. And I feel like I'm running towards something now, because I was having a conversation with my little brother and I was like, dude, I feel like things are possible in life. I genuinely feel like these goals that I had set when I was younger, these goals that I'm setting now, I truly, from the bottom of my heart, the same way I was convicted that there was no shot that I was going to get clean. I thought I was hopeless. Like I felt that like deep in my heart. Like that's the way I feel now. Like I'm dead set, like absolutely convinced like these goals are possible now. So running towards them, even though I'm stoked out and I believe it's possible, it's still scary.
Mhm.
It can be a scary thing because I'm in uncharted territory. And it's that uncomfortable aspect, right? And I've always said comfortable keeps us sick. I firmly believe that comfortable keeps us sick. I was comfortable in my addiction. As much as I hated it, and I hated myself, and I hated my life, I was comfortable in that addiction. And I knew what that was like. I was familiar with my surroundings in my addiction.
Yeah.
Then I get clean, and it's like, holy fuck. I don't know how to deal with this.
For
And then
real.
I learned how to get clean. Now I've learned how to stay sober. All right. But now, as my sponsor shared the other day, he goes, it's interesting learning how to recover like a normal person. And that like made so much sense to me. It's like now today, my problems aren't necessarily, yes, drugs and alcohol and all that type of stuff, but my problems don't end there. Like now I've moved on and now it's time to like work on me in this up here, like my mind game, my mental game. And like, that's uncharted territory.
Yeah.
Working out and eating healthy is uncharted territory for me. And I don't know how to deal with that a lot of times.
Yeah, that hit me huge. Like just what you said that, but when like first time I heard that, I was like, yeah, we don't have a drinking problem, we have a thinking problem. And I was like, damn. Like, yeah, I guess you're right. You take away the drugs and that solution.
And it's still fucked up.
I'm
here.
fucked up, you know, and that's like the growing and the uncomfortability, which I love, and that's why I continue to do things that make me uncomfortable, even though I don't want to. And then like lately, I've been like, yeah, you know, I get to like these comfort zones, and I'm like, okay. Then I ask myself, like one book I read, they're like, you have to make a growth plan. Like if you have some kind of workout plan for your body, why don't you have some kind of growth plan for your mental and your emotional, you know, state? He's like, what's your plan? And I'm like, all right, well, I think my plan, I'm going to put this out there. I want to get another sponsor and I want to work through the steps again with someone else and get their perspective on it and just do another deep dive, because at the end of the day, I think that's what my life is becoming, is like self-mastery. Like if I can master myself, my emotions and my mental state of mind to a reasonable, you know, place where I'm like to where I know myself. Because I think that's like a continuous thing. Is learning who I am and creating, you know, this version of myself that I want to become.
Yeah, it is. And I was reading that book that you gave me too, and just kind of speaking on that comfortable thing. And I even brought it up to you. I was like, and it just hit me like that comfortable, right? And going back to that comfortable keeps us sick. It was talking about like, and this you don't even have to be in recovery for. So like it was talking about how so many people get so caught up and stuck and comfortable in that mundane existence, like the 9 to 5, this is your allotted time of free time, you know, and before you know it, they're stuck, they're comfortable and not doing anything about it, you know. And I read that and I was like, fuck, man, like that makes so much sense to me. Not just fuck the work aspect. I mean, yeah, that too, whatever, but like more just my routine, because I can get stuck and comfortable in an unhealthy routine no matter where I'm at, how much time I got, what I'm doing. Like I said, I'm clean, but if I start my day with a little bit of fucking porn, energy drinks, and a cigarette, like I already started my day fucked up.
I already started off with instant gratification.
With instant gratification, all three of those things right off the bat.
Absolutely.
and so then anything with delayed gratification is going to
like,
be easy to get discouraged.
Yeah,
So
dude.
true.
It
So
is.
fucking true.
It is.
That's crazy. I never thought about it like that.
Dude, it's amazing. Like I'm serious. Like I could fuck up my day real quick seeking instant gratification.
That's why the first thing you gotta do is hit your knees, man.
You smoking or spitting?
You smoking or spitting?
No, that's
I told Donnie after you said that should be a new segment on the show, smoking or spitting.
Ooh,
Are you
what's
blowing smoke out your ass or spitting fire?
so how are we gonna work that in though? Did you have any like backing
it was just an idea.
No, and then
just got the title.
then you just when someone says something, that could be either really good, be like, are you smoking or spitting, bro?
Blowing smoke out your ass, you spitting the truth right now.
I dig it. I can ride with that. I'm down with that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, I forgot. Fuck, I forgot what I was saying.
No, that's good. I had something I wanted to say about Coomer when you were talking about that mental solution to solve a spiritual problem. I kind of really felt that even with what I was going through. You know, when you guys talked to me about this last week, because you guys had talked to me about like how you're worried about me and with my recovery and stuff, and I couldn't wrap my head around it at first because in my mind I never even thought about drinking, right? But it was more
But
of
it's on a deeper level.
yeah,
now.
but it was more of a spiritual thing. And
Uh-huh.
so that's why like I couldn't wrap my head around it at first, but it was more of like the spiritual thing. So what really like put kind of the final thought into perspective today was after going to that meeting that I go to every Friday night. And it's lately for the past few weeks or few months has been the only meeting I can go to. And it's usually one of my favorite meetings. But after tonight, you know, it didn't hit. And I was thinking, well, then I didn't get anything spiritually this week, and I'm not going to get anything spiritually all the way till next week if that's the only thing that I go to. And what if next week's meeting doesn't hit?
Right.
Then how long am I not getting spiritually fed? So that's why like after we left the meeting, I looked at Donnie and I was like, I'm gonna start going to some 645s, you know, after work, because I need to get
Yeah.
more spiritually fed, because you know this once a week that worked for a little while is not cutting it anymore. And so like when you said that, it just really resonated with me that's kind of, you know, how I've been feeling. So yeah.
And I was actually just having a conversation with someone about this too, though. And I told, so for me, first of all, yes, go to more meetings. Like I know meetings are huge for me, and it's no coincidence when I'm slacking on meetings, like I start getting a little squirrely, right? Like whatever it is. But I know too, like for me, and just kind of goes back to like what you were saying, like, why are they bringing this up? Like, I'm not even thinking about drinking again. Right now we're not running from that pain. We're not necessarily running from the bottle anymore, but we're running towards something. And it's like on a deeper level. It's on that spiritual level, right? Like you just brought up, it's on that spiritual level. And I was talking with actually a sponsee, and I was like, dude, let me just tell you right now, if you're relying on me or the people in those meetings or anybody else to keep you sober, you're fucked, right? Like that. And that's how I feel for me too. Like, I have to legitimately work this program outside of the meeting as well. And not saying that that's what you were saying. I'm not like trying to say against what you're saying, but I have to like be able to practice this. Let's just like you said, hit your knees in the morning, right? Praying. Like my prayer life's been garbage. My prayer life has been garbage lately. And when I'm disconnected from that, and then I add disconnecting from the meetings as well, dude, that's a bad recipe. That's a bad recipe for a dude like me who struggles to stay clean every day, you know? And I'm not saying that it's the same struggle, because it is a different struggle, right? Like it's like I said, I'm not necessarily running away from that bottle anymore. Like now I'm trying to run towards something, and I'm moving on to the phase of my recovery where, like you guys have mentioned, we have the tools, we've learned what to do. Now it's time to put the work in, you know? It's just like that dude I talked about on the podcast when I got my 9-month chip that time. He gives me a pat on the back and says, congratulations, gets tougher from here. You know, I was like, "Fuck you, dude. This shit was hard."
Why you shouldn't discourage me like that?
I think I'm out.
I might as well quit now. That's funny,
I was
dude.
just like brought up, man. Going back to what you're saying, like from that rehab, it's like I'm a true believer, dude. Babying the addict or the alcoholic kills them, man. Because you know we could.
Yeah, you
You
did.
can't
not get
bullshit it.
baby.
You can't bullshit a bullshitter, right? Right?
Mhm.
Like, I think we're well aware, like when, you know, especially now when we're being honest with each other, or not being honest, or when we're out of character, when we're going through, when we're upset, when we're saying we're fine and we're not really fucking fine. Like, especially if you have a close group of friends, like we all are with each other. So it's like, I've always just since since a rehab, man, I was just like brought up that way, dude. In early recovery, it's like, dude, you gotta, if you love this person, if you care about them, you're gonna help them and be honest with them, dude. Regardless if it hurts him or hurts his feeling or anything like that, be there for him. Because I remember the first time I broke down and I ran to my counselor and I was like, dude, like, I didn't understand that. And I was like, so you're babying me right now? Because I'm fucking crying. You're kind of like, you know, like kind of rubbing my back and saying it's gonna be okay. He's like, nah, this is not what it is. And he kind of broke it down what it meant and just being there for each other, being accountable. Like, and but like one thing that you're saying, like the rooms can only keep me certain clean and depend on that. That's all I fucking depended in the beginning though, man. Like,
Well, no.
like in the meetings and people, dude. Like I
That's
was
not
so
necessarily
lost.
true, dude. That's not necessarily true. You weren't praying. You weren't hitting that phone every time you were outside of a meeting. You weren't fellowshipping. You weren't doing all of those things.
Well, yeah, I guess you're right.
Like
yeah,
it stemmed from the room. I'm not
dude.
saying there's anything wrong with that.
Dude, I remember going to any lengths. I had to sleep on the couch so I can roll over and fall off the couch so I can get up and be on my knees already. That's how I started conditioning myself to fucking hit the knees first thing in the morning, dude. Like I literally was doing that, dude, because my sponsor was on my ass about that shit, bro. And I didn't want to lie. Like it was like that's one thing that early in recovery, like I did not lie to my sponsor at all, man. Like I didn't fake it.
I like how he put a specific time frame on the times he doesn't lie to his sponsor.
Early in recovery.
I was pretty fucking honest with this guy.
I'm still honest with him, man. But sometimes I hold a little.
Oh, I know, dude. My
the details and shit don't come all the way out because
Keep
like
a
he's
little
mean,
mystery
dude.
in it.
He's fucking wow. You say you clean the pubes off those things?
Yeah, dude, he's fucking cutthroat, dude. But it works, man.
Well,
He doesn't baby me.
No. No, dude. My sponsor told me something that made so much sense, and he just made me feel like he lets me talk until I just realize I'm dumb. You know, like he told
Oh,
me.
is that how we deal with you? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So take notes. No, he told me, he goes, dude, I'm never foolish enough to believe you're telling me the full fucking truth. Like, or anybody for that matter, you know? And I think that's so true. But, and to go back to what you're talking about with your counselor and to go back into what you were talking about with us, you're like, to be honest, I've never had anyone around me who's just like, yo, Jordan, what the fuck? You know, like to check you, right? I think so much of that too is building that trust, right? Because both of this, I mean, that's, you know, that's kind of like your first experience, like with us, like having people who are around you who genuinely care, like on a deeper level, to where it's like, yo, Jordan, like, what's up, man? Because you don't seem like you're doing good. Your counselor, like, hey, Goomer, man, let me pat you on the back, but tell you like what's up. Let me go ahead and tell you the real deal shit, right?
Yeah.
But when I can come to accept that and I learn how to trust that, because trusting is hard.
Yeah.
Trusting is very hard. And I'm the type of cat that I have to trust you before I'm willing to learn from you. You know, I've always been that way. So to go and experience those things, man, like that right there alone, that is, we got a question, right? What is one of, somebody left a comment asking what are like some tools, what are our, like, I don't know, best tools that we keep in our sobriety toolbox, essentially. That is one of them. That is one of them. Like having people around me who are dead serious about recovery and who actually fucking care enough about me to tell me the truth,
Yeah.
you know? And not that yes man shit that we talked about earlier.
Honesty, man. That's like some of the people that hang out. Dude, a buddy showed me a Snapchat, dude, right? He sent me a Snapchat in the background, dude. Like there's this person laughing, and then like my head told me it was my girlfriend, right? And I believed it.
Like
And
right now?
Yeah, like this was like probably like a week, 2 weeks ago.
All
He
right.
sent me a Snapchat, dude, and like there's this like someone laughing, and I was like, dude, that's my fucking girlfriend's laugh. And at the time, because I was kind of like mad at her over some petty shit, so I was like, nah, I'm not gonna fucking answer this message. Like I'm just gonna write it out a little bit. I got shit to do today. Fucking doing nothing. And then, so then like he sends me the
Yes.
Snapchat and instantly, because I'm in that mindset, right? Like, oh, like it starts getting all big in my head and like, and I thought he was like with my girl. I was like, I knew it, fucking cheating on me with my best friend. This and that, dude. I entertained the fucking thought, dude. Like,
Dick
I
get bigger too,
I
Peckerwood?
went fucking deep, bro. And then, so then I realized I was like, then I was aware of what was going on. I was like, man, Goomer, shut the fuck up, dude. You're dumb as hell. And like, I genuinely like, I talked to him like the next day or something. I was like, yo, bro, like, I thought you were like, I told him the whole story, all my thoughts and everything. He started laughing at me. I was like, dude, you're fucking dumb, bro. Like, it's just that, like, we get each other, dude, no matter how embarrassing or how dark the suicidal thoughts, like, or any crazy shit that goes on in our head or what we're really feeling, dude. Like, if we're willing to be honest and have people hold us accountable to our shit, like, man, how can we not fucking grow?
Donnie, what was the Snapchat that you sent Goomer?
Why you gotta come at me like that, bro? I would never. You gotta get your boy.
What's up?
You guys know something I don't know? Fucking
See?
feeding, don't be feeding my head, bro. I just told you my head's fucking crazy about this shit, dude. Asshole.
Oh,
Don't worry, Goomer. I'm on your side.
Thank you.
nah, man, it is though.
That accountability, dude, is huge.
Accountability.
That's one of the biggest tools that I've acquired in sobriety.
Dude, someone said, dude, he's like, at one point in your addiction, you dreamt of having the life you have today. And I
Mhm.
thought about that, and I was like, holy fuck, dude. I wanted my kids in my life. I wanted to be able to get the fuck out of bed on my own strength.
Ooh.
Shit comfortable, bro.
Oh,
Like,
damn.
shower.
Just shit. How about that? Just shit.
Not have to scrape up change, dude. Like,
Oh,
you know, like I remember that story, dude. Every time I go to QT now, dude, like, and I pass the beer aisle, I was like, damn, Jordy can buy so many of those. I think about that, dude. It's like, how many times did you fucking want to be exactly where you're at? True fucking friendships, love, dude. Like, you feel all that shit now in recovery, dude. And it's fucking dope, dude.
It is.
Like,
It is.
dude, that video on my phone, dude, I watched it not too long ago, dude, because I was thinking the same thing when I was in that little rut, dude. And I was just like, when I go to my phone and I watch that video every now and then, I'm just like, fuck yeah. Like, today is pretty good, man. I might not have $1 million or a Lamborghini, but it's possible.
Well, a lot of it too, and that just reminded me of like this conversation that I had with God early in recovery, and it just stuck to me so hard. And it's like living my will shit. Like, well, fuck, I want things my way, my way, my way, and if it's not my way, I'm pissed off. Like, I was sitting there thinking, because I was like getting into this real little fucking pity party, and I was like starting to get a little lippy with God. Like, man, what the fuck, dude?
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, what's going on here, dude? Like, what the fuck is going on? You know? And I was like, obviously not like in an audible voice, but like this conversation, bro, essentially was like him just bitch slapping me and being like, hey, listen, man, you needed to get clean, right? Yeah. You needed your girls to be taken care of, right? Yeah. You didn't have any money for bills, right? Yeah. You didn't have a house, right? No, I didn't have that. All right, so I sent you to get clean, put your girls with family where you know they're safe, put you in a better house than you were in prior, and I removed your bills from you. Tell me what the fucking problem is here, kid.
Damn, son.
And when it like hit me like that, I was like,
You're right.
my bad, bro. My bad.
My bad.
My bad. Hey, I'll just get it.
I got in the ring with God, bro.
got in the ring with God,
Took a couple jabs. I tried.
Got
And he gave me a warm hug afterwards. bro.
like, God shots for real, bro.
It's like getting your ass kicked by your older brother, dude. Like, fuck,
Dude,
dude.
it's funny. Now I laugh. I'm like, what do you got in store for me today? It's like I'm just waiting for him to just do something with me. And
Dude, yeah, that's why nothing matters, bro. Like,
oh boy, oh, get the hell out of here with that.
dude, it goes back to like don't being so hard on yourself and going back to the fucking basics, right?
Yeah.
One of the basics is 1, 2, and 3. You know,
Yeah,
powerless,
every morning.
came to believe, and then try to find God's will, right? Or your higher power, or you know,
God's
whatever.
will.
God's will.
higher power.
Thank you. Goomer's will. So, and like when I was in that rut, like I took it back to the basics, dude. Like, all right, I'm not picking up. That's not easy, but it doesn't cross my mind, and it's not like a physical craving. I'm not drawn to it anymore. And I came to believe, yeah, have faith, you know, but like a lot of fears like my fear meter is like overpassing my faith. So that fear makes me take my will back a lot fucking faster. And I want to be in control. It's like, and the more I do that, it's like, the more I fuck shit up, dude, like constantly, dude. So I let that go, have faith, like that story you told me, it's time to get in that barrel.
Ooh,
So I get in that barrel and just let go and let God, man, and finding God, being receptive with those conversations, just like a relationship coming into this podcast, how it's developing. It's a relationship that we're having with the show and the people listening to, like people, when you fellowship, it's a relationship. So like, I feel like, cause I saw him so clearly in the beginning, cause I was so desperate, and now things are so good. That conversation, that relationship, I'm like, yo, I got my boys. I'm clean. I got a couple days in my pocket. Like, I don't need your pace, dog.
Yeah.
Like,
I got res money.
Dude, like, it's like I took it for granted, and I started leaning on certain things. But when it all comes down, when drinking time really comes, and you ain't got shit but prayer, like those stories we told on the podcast before, like then I started like being more receptive and not only saying like when I started feeling bad. Now it's like when I start feeling good, like, hey man, like, what's up, dude? Like, thanks for like just simple shit and like being receptive to that conversation, man. And he does come through, man. I just have to fucking listen, dude. And like, it goes to that instant gratification. It's not like, hey man, what'd I do? And then boom, lightning bolt hits or something like that. Ours, right? It's just sometimes it's just like,
be nice.
It's right. Nice. It takes a long fucking time, at least for me, to some questions that I have. And I just gotta be patient and do the next right thing. As long as I do that, dude, like, shit's all right, and take it easy on myself, because back in the day, like I dreamt of what I have today, man. Living the dream, man.
Living the dream. Peckerwood. Nah, absolutely, man. Just give myself a break. Don't be so fucking hard on myself.
You're not wearing hats somewhere. You got a haircut.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
You look good, man.
Looking cute, bro.
Real fucking cute.
I understand what you mean about the compliments. Like, I'm like, do I fucking smack you or thank you? I don't know.
It's hard. It's hard. He's a dick.
We can't say
I'm being serious though.
Well, thank you, Donnie.
Sounds like I'm being a fucking dick.
Well, we went over
I'm
this.
just trying to give you a taste of your medicine, because your compliments, they don't seem like compliments.
This is true.
They're not. They're not compliments.
Yeah, the worst compliments, man.
Yeah.
It's not working, Goomer. I've been trying to be nice for months now. It ain't working, dude.
You came hard, dude, at the beginning, bro. You got a lot of fucking... Just be patient, bro. God's time.
Yeah.
People will like you when
It's
God
not an
wants.
instant gratification.
They'll come around and start liking you again.
Dude, look, we're what, like a year and a half of sobriety, and we're barely starting to like you. Imagine the people that don't see you every day like me.
It took 2 months of damage, and now it's taken 16 months of repair, and it's still not there.
Everything's good, man.
That's funny, dude.
I just figure if Goomer's on my side, Goomer's universally liked, right? Like, he's about the only universally liked person I've ever met in my life. If Goomer's on my side, like, I feel like I have a fighting chance. So
I like you, man. I love you, dude. It was like, this was honest conversations that we had, bro.
well, thank you. And again, so pretty much, I mean, I already feel better. Like, I legitimately feel better.
I was gonna ask you. So after that, do you feel better having this conversation?
I totally do. Like, let's go fucking put that 10 unit on. I'm fucking hyped now. Like, I do. I feel better, and I think that is one of the biggest tools that I have is the love of you guys, the love of the program, love of God, like all of that type of stuff, man, and just being connected. Staying connected. If I'm connected with those three things, man, like typically I'm pretty all right, man. So that, I guess, I don't know. So I'm back to surrender.
I don't know, man. Like, it's crazy that you feel that way because I don't see it. You know what I mean? Like, talking to you, being close to you and stuff like that. It's just like, I see so much growth in you, dude. And it's like inspiring, dude. So just, I don't know, man. Take it easy on yourself. I had no idea. Reach out, bro. We had no idea you're fucking going through this, dude. Walk the walk.
No, for sure. For sure. I appreciate
the balls on this guy to not answer his phone when I call him, too.
Shut
Like,
the
he's
fuck
so
up, dude.
important. I'm just kidding.
I called him back, dude.
I'm kidding.
Whatever, dude. Since you want to open your mouth, what?
Well, no, like he said, you couldn't tell that you were going through it. Like, that's the thing. Like, if I'm going through it, it's all up here. It's not here. It's usually I'll have a smile on my face, but in my mind I'm like, man, fuck this or something, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. It's that isolating still,
Mhm.
right? Like it's still difficult for me not to go with my first instinct, which has always been retreat.
Mm-hmm.
Get the fuck out. Fuck everything and run. Like, that's yeah, man. I don't know. So I gotta take my own advice and fucking utilize you guys more. Utilize the fucking program.
And
Utilize
face
prayers.
everything and right.
Face everything. Oh, that's it. There it is.
It's working. It's working. Delayed gratification.
Fucking disconnect that mic and drop that motherfucker right there, dude. Boom.
That's your
dude.
cue, bro.
It's working, bro.
Yeah, dude. That is your cue. What's up?
What's up?
You know what time
Daily
it is.
Donnie?
Oh,
Ooh.
dude. It's that time.
So a person without a vision for their future will always return to their past.
Damn.
Boom.
I like that one. All right. That got the spinner approval too. All right. Well, thank you guys. I do feel better. So thank you for listening to me vent and all that shit. Goomer, Jordan, Donnie, thank you guys for keeping me clean today. Everyone out there, thank you so much for being a part of my recovery. Please hit the subscribe button, like it, comment, share it with somebody. If you need to, please reach out to us. We thank you so much for listening to another episode of Not So Anonymous.